So if I could call forward our Commission on the Status of Women, members who are here, Chair Sarah Stegmoller, Vice Chair Annie Gecki, and Commissioners Jillian Alexander, Amy Bishop Dunbar, Melissa Dagadag, Sylvia Gazarian Anahara, Rebecca Lantry, and Autumn Peoples. I'll be right down. Welcome, everybody. So if it's all right with you, I'll read the proclamation, and then I don't know if all of you are planning to speak, but perhaps your chair and vice chair will, I'm sure. Whereas women in the city of Santa Monica of every race, class, and ethnic background play a critical economic, cultural, and social role by constituting a majority of its population, a majority of its college students, and a significant portion of its workforce, and whereas women in the city of Santa Monica, the state of California, and around the world serve as leaders in every major progressive social change movement, the efforts of which create a more fair and just society for all, and whereas the city of Santa Monica commends the Commission for its work to promote equality between the sexes, furthering women's essential contributions in all aspects of community life, and whereas the Commissioner's efforts to foster leadership and career advancement opportunities and address women's health and safety concerns have been magnified through the strategic alliances with local partners such as the YWCA, Rosie's Girls, the Latina Youth Conference, the Westside Domestic Violence Network, and the Male Violence Prevention Program, and whereas Women's History Month and International Women's Day are observed nationally each March, and this year falls within the 100th anniversary year of California women's right to vote. Now, therefore, the members of the City Council do hereby proclaim the month of March 2012 to be Women's History Month in Santa Monica and invite all citizens to join in celebrating by attending programs, ceremonies, and activities occurring throughout the community. Thank you and congratulations.
Okay, yes, thank you. Yes, I'm just hoping that everyone on your way out gets to look at some of the historical images of predominant women that have existed in Santa Monica. On our behalf of our commission, I'd like to introduce you to our chair, Sarah Stegelmoller, who will give us a brief report about our commission.
Thank you very much for this opportunity, and it will be brief. I am here not only to respond to the proclamation and to invite you again to all of our activities. I believe you have a calendar in your packet of all of the things that are occurring around the city, and this is the first time that the Commission has partnered with many organizations in Santa Monica to, through photography, through movies, through special programming, and the variety of assets that we have in the city, in the library, the Y, Rosie's Girls, all of these different agencies, the Chamber, are involved in recognizing Women's History Month this year through programs that are of interest to women and to the entire community. Aside from just the opportunity to publicize that, the second reason that I'm here is a year ago when we did receive this proclamation, a conversation occurred actually between the mayor and one of our commissioners when she mentioned that we had a strategic plan. And although you may not remember this, we do, that you invited us to come back and tell you a little bit about what we had been doing in the last year under our strategic plan. And so I'm going to take just a couple minutes to add to what I gave you in written material and emphasize some of the things that have been going on with the Commission in the last year. I was not around in Santa Monica when the Commission was created in 1981, but it was a pretty momentous time. Believe it or not, that's, more than 30 years the Commission has been in place. And when you go back and look at the charter and also the directions and authorities that were given to us at that time, you'd be surprised at the power that was given to the Commission to review the city's employment practices and give recommendations to the personnel board, to go to the Santa Monica School District and discuss curriculum and how it might be presented in a way that enhances the role of women and girls, to actually be a mediator of disputes of women who felt in the city that they had in some way been discriminated against and did not have another sort of recourse. There's a long list of 13 items that was very relevant in 1981. And thankfully, some of those issues have been resolved in the last 30 years. And maybe in trying to figure out what we should be doing in the next few years, we went back and went through and prioritized the kinds of activities that we were involved in and tried to determine what would be most relevant to our role, our continuing role to enhance the positions of women and girls in Santa Monica. So we created through our own research and through community input a 5-point or 6-point plan that is really going to be the basis upon which we do our work for the next 5 years, and that plan is in front of you. I just want to highlight a couple of the items that we're involved in today. One of them, which goes to the point of raising awareness and seeking solutions for domestic violence and safety issues. And this particular program was actually mentioned in the Proclamation, the Male Violence Prevention Program. The COSW is a co-founder with the Westside Domestic Violence Network and Sojourn, the City of Santa Monica, particularly through the police chief, Jackman, the city's the city's Cultural and Community Affairs Department, in initiating a program that is based on finding opportunities for a way to respond to the causes of domestic violence, particularly male violence, through giving tools to young men and to have them directed in a different way in being less aggressive or violent from early times. So one of the key messages is how we as adults that are sometimes bystanders to inappropriate behavior can use our influence to raise sons to feel that they can be strong in constructive ways as they grow. The Male Violence Prevention Program is a training program that has been introduced to the police department. It's been introduced to all of our coaches. It's being introduced in and all of the city programs that involve youth, and we hope as it begins to roll out that you will have an opportunity to learn more about it and get involved in it as well. The second thing that I'd like to point out, which is in a very different vein, is that we're finally on Facebook. Would you please like us? I actually am one of those Neanderthals who did not become a member of Facebook until the COSW did. So I am a recent member and a plebe at all this, but it is, we think, a better way for us to get information out than through the city website and through our other paper means. And we also are really excited about an opportunity that's come to us through the city to be helpful to begin a television program with Broad Topics TV on issues of interest to women. So you might be asked to be interviewed on our television show. The final thing that I want to share is actually very serious, and I think you might have just received this report tonight. This is something that was just released in February by the California Budget Project in conjunction with the Women's Foundation of California. It's called Falling Behind: The Impact of the Great Recession and the Budget Crisis on California's Women and Their Families. And it's really quite a telling tale of how women are more seriously impacted by many of the choices that are being made both in our budgeting process and coming out of the recession. And in particular, vulnerable categories of women, single mothers with children, women who are seniors and who are disabled. Now, these same categories of women are reflected in our own population here and will be impacted in some way in whatever decisions the city makes in terms of housing or other social programs. So we will hope that you'll have an opportunity to look at this and think sometimes when you are given demographic reports, why don't I have that based on gender? Because I think you would find that some of the age information or the income information you receive, when it's not broken down in gender, doesn't give a fair impression of how much more women might be those persons in the lowest income categories or the most vulnerable categories as policy decisions are made. So I thank you very much for this opportunity and would welcome any questions, or if not, we'll be back next year. Thanks.
Thank you. You just went from 30 to 31 likes.
Thank you very
I'm not going to
much.
say how.
We appreciate it.
But thank you very much for your contributions. Councilmember O'Connor?
Right, I was just going to say that actually Councilmember Shriver and I have to friend the commission because we didn't get the notice of the reception. And when we walked in today, we said, what's going on? And now we just now got the calendar and said, that's what the reception was. So we're going to friend you, so next year we know ahead of time to attend the reception.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
First time, so.
Right. Good
Great.
evening.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.